Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I am recording today again from Agora Co-Working, which is on the corner of Center Street and Atkinson. If you're looking for a co-working space, if you work from the home and you're looking to get out for a day, for a week, or even a lifetime home, Agora is a great place. So thank you, Luke, for letting us record here. I appreciate you. So forever, I've been trying to get these guys on the show. It's a little bit over forever, by the way. But today we have McMahon Services. So I have Hunter and Tom. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
I am doing well.
Good.
Hunter dragged me in here today, and I said, you know what? I'm going to accommodate Dave and get it done.
Good. Well, I'm glad I didn't inconvenience you too much. It's good. It's good. It's good to come in and have fun. So today I want to learn about you guys because you're a staple of our community. You guys are literally, they walked in the door here, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are everywhere. So it seems like from every networking thing, every parade, everything, McMahon Services, your name is everywhere.
Yeah, we try to be. I mean, we're a true community staple, which we don't take lightly, I would say, but it's good to have our name out there for sure.
We take pride in, working with the communities. We've been in Grayslake, Haynesville now about 10 years, I would say.
Wow. And
we got a nice little staff that likes to get out, introduce us, and make sure that everybody knows where we're at.
How many people on staff?
Give or take, usually anywhere from 33 to 37.
Wow.
So.
Okay, it's amazing because a lot of things I see on the interwebs is like a picture of you guys all together, and it looks like just a huge group of people.
We're big on family. I know every company says, "Oh, we're a family." Well, we truly are. It's family owned for over 70 years now. So there's a huge, percentage of internal growth. I feel like the people that come never leave. And
she says that is a good thing, folks.
Yes.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Well, I always say the sign of a really good business is how long you can have employees, right? How long they stay really says a lot about your company.
Yeah. No, and
or the
personally, I love it there. I've only been there for 2 years, but I'm not going anywhere.
and we love Hunter, so we'll keep her as long as she'll stay. For sure, for us, a big thing is tenure, learning the business, growing in the business, and then typically that works pretty well for us.
Yeah.
So, and people usually stick around when we do that. So
nice. So, Tom, give me a little background, family business, obviously, but like, how do you start? Where do you start? And give me kind of a little timeline.
Yeah, it started. My grandfather was a Chicago fireman. Lived out of district, which wasn't really allowed back then, but he could do it anyway. Mm-hmm. So he started washing windows, maintenance kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of people know us as a window washing company. Back in the early 80s, mid 80s, early 90s.
Window washing.
Window washing. All right. We still get calls.
We must have been really, well, I'm sure we would still be good at it, but we must have been really good at it because we still get a lot of calls.
North Shore, so a lot of window washing on those North Shore residences. So he was doing that, and then my dad and his partner at the time were doing it. And then I'd say early 90s, my mom, we grew up in Lake County, Mundelein. I have 3 brothers and a sister. All went to Carmel.
Hey, so, I'm a Carmel boy as well.
There you go.
Yeah. I was going to say, how many are involved with the company?
Just 2 of us.
Just 2 of you.
My brother John and I.
All right.
Yeah. But going back to late 80s, early 90s, we all worked for the company, washing windows to start, and then my mom was working for a local insurance agent, and that agent knew that we had maintenance people, right? So then we started cleaning up flooded basements and whatnot, and that kind of took off from there.
It just flourished.
It's kind of funny because 4 of us live in Mundelein now, and then my one brother lives in Libertyville, so there's 15 grandkids.
Oh, my goodness.
In the area.
Nice.
They're all getting to the age where we started working, so it's kind of funny that we, John and I are kind of
roping
excited,
them in.
Yes, to finally have some cheap child labor.
Right. All with a good last name, right?
Yeah.
Voluntary.
But it's always funny. We always tell the story where we'd be working on the North Shore, like Lake Forest, and I mean, I'm literally in 6th or 7th grade washing windows, and people would call my dad and complain, like, why do you, like, how old is this kid? And my dad would be like, oh, that's my son. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And then they didn't mind because we were family. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Were you good at washing windows then?
Yeah, Brian and I could hold our own.
Good.
John and Mike, not so much. But Brian and I were a little bit more meticulous. So.
Hey, neighbors. This is Bill Mock with the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce. And if you're looking for a network of hard-working, customer-focused, and generally friendly local businesses who are dedicated to helping each other succeed, then I'd like to invite you to check out and consider joining our Grayslake Chamber. We offer our members so many ways to advance their businesses through social networking events, special event sponsorships, informative lunch and learns, and the ever-popular after-hours mixers. Come see why we say we're the new wave of business here in Lake County.
So McMahon Services started doing basement flooding and everything kind of on accident, right?
Yeah, you could say that for sure. It was kind of it's funny that it worked out that way, but insurance agent, I need you to clean this up for me. You get paid for it, and can you guys do it? And sure enough, so
seemed like a match made in heaven.
And we talk about it a lot. Like restoration's been around, but like early 90s, right? Like when you were a kid, you weren't calling a restoration company to clean up your basement. Your parents were sending you down there with a box fan.
Absolutely.
And a shop vac.
Absolutely.
So
collect
did it
all
many
the
times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's kind of come a long way since then.
Wow.
So
take care of everything. So obviously it starts with basement things, and
yes.
then probably people are like, well, they can do that. I'm
Right.
sure they're like, can they do this?
Yes.
Right.
And now it's turned into there's not a lot that we don't do besides washing windows.
Yes.
And cleaning gutters.
Everything except for what
we started.
with.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it really evolved, right? Like everything naturally starts with the easier stuff. Like, oh yeah, we can do that. And,
Sure.
and that was a good example. Is water damage is pretty easy to clean up and set a dehumidifier and dry it out. And then it got a little bit more involved with fires and whatnot. We still remember the first fire we had. We still have the Polaroids of it.
Really?
Polaroids.
Polaroids.
He did say Polaroids.
I did.
Kids, you can Google that right now. Actually, they're kind of back, though. Now it's like retro cool, right?
Oh, it's in.
Yeah.
It's in.
My wife got my son one
Really?
Polaroid
See,
camera for Christmas.
It all comes back.
Full
Yep.
circle.
Okay, so first fire.
Yeah.
Okay, where was it? Do you know?
Lincolnshire.
Okay. Why did they call you? Past client, friend, family?
So that's so developing relationships with the insurance carriers, and the adjuster had worked with my dad quite a bit on water claims, and then he's like, "Hey, I got a fire in Lincolnshire. Can you take care of that?" Sure enough, he didn't say no. So
Wow. There's a key. There's a lesson to be learned there too, right?
yeah,
Right. Wow. Okay, and obviously that went okay.
yeah, it went well. It was funny that it was so new that like the same software is being used as far as estimating and whatnot nowadays as it was back then, but like my dad just had to figure it out, and he called someone to write an estimate for him because it's so different than just a contractor going and
Sure.
drawing up pricing.
Right.
So the insurance company needs everything itemized. They want to compare apples to apples, so we're writing it the same way they are. So that first time was definitely a learning experience.
I bet. Is there a lot more equipment and things needed for that to clean up a fire rather than water, obviously, right?
For sure. Obviously, a lot of muscle and elbow grease. A lot of cleaning, intensive cleaning. Depends on how significant the fire is. But in this case, there was actually a decent amount of demolition. But as far as cleaning and whatnot, for sure. Definitely a ton of different products. We use ozone machines, hydroxyl machines, all this kind of stuff to get rid of odor. So.
Wow. But that day that they called for that, you didn't have that stuff. Right. Your dad's like, all right, pull up your sleeves and let's go.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Back then, no, yeah, it was straight labor. I don't even know if we knew what a mask was or respirator was back then.
No PPE.
I mean, this is no exaggeration. I was probably 12, 13 years old. Obviously, there was other maintenance employees, but yes.
Right.
There was lead guys.
It just wasn't you and Dad.
You're out there.
There was lead guys, but it was funny. I remember her name. Her name was Rosemary. And she would just, like, because we were young, towards the end of the project, she'd just take my brother Mike and I around the house and, like, you missed that. You missed that. You missed
little
that.
odds and ends.
Toothbrush and, like, I remember I was cleaning out the track of her storm door, or a sliding glass door. And, like, she just stared at me for, like, an hour.
And watched you.
Yeah, and watched me clean it. So.
Wow.
Nothing like that.
Yep.
I think after a fire in your house, you have other things to worry about than that, right?
Yep. And that's the hardest part about a fire is that exactly. Your personal property. Mm-hmm. So everybody should know that's listening. Document your personal property.
Yes.
Because the hardest thing is when you have a significant catastrophe fire, a lot of people don't know what was in their house. Believe it or not.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say document your personal property, like how extensive are we? Like my computers, my hard drives, my like TVs. How extensive do you get?
Yeah. So nowadays, you obviously a lot of cloud-based on your computer, right? Mm-hmm. You can pick it up and take it somewhere. But as far as I mean, we all have iPads, whatnot. Open up all your closet doors, your drawers, walk around the house, take a video. Saving receipts is kind of old school now, but no, I mean, the big thing is knowing what you have, right?
Yep.
Clothing's always tough because you probably have a ton of clothes in your closet that you don't wear anymore.
Right.
So you don't have to necessarily
because they're too big because I'm skinny, is what you're saying?
I can tell you've lost a lot. Yes.
Thank
you. But yeah, doing that kind of stuff is very helpful because it's the most difficult part of the project is the start of the project.
Yeah. Okay. So besides the damage to the home, I mean, probably the most significant thing that you have to deal with. I mean, these are human beings, right?
Yep.
And emotionally going through this stuff. So
100%.
You guys have to really have not be good at your job, but also be good at communicating and customer relations at that point, right?
A lot of empathy for sure.
Yeah.
I started in the office answering phone calls. I'm actually back in the office now, but yeah, I mean that first phone call is tough, you know, they're distraught, they're panicked, they don't know what to do, which is a big thing on why we are so prevalent in the community is we want people to know our name before disaster strikes. Most people are, you know, like I said, distraught and panicked anyways. They're not thinking, you know, that Google search is just one more headache they have to worry about. But, you know, having our name already in your mind is just alleviates the process a little bit. But yeah, no, empathy is a huge one. We try and obviously walk them through the process. I mean, no one plans on having multiple, you know, fires or floods in their life. If you've been through the process, you sure, you know, hope you're not going through it again. But yeah, no, so we hold hands.
Wow.
The best we can.
That's crazy. Okay, so from the first fire, your dad does, and then you do that with this child labor laws set in, and you guys move forward. Did you say that you guys were in Mundelein first?
We were in Mundelein, I'd say early 80s till, you know, what did I say, 10 or 12 years ago now, in Grayslake, Haynesville. And then we just bought a warehouse in Wakanda. So Wakanda, the warehouse is strictly for storage. When we have these fires and we have to empty out the house, clean everything, store it. But yeah, we bought the building next to us, so 26 Belvedere. That's all offices. Then in the back is the warehouse. So it's been pretty cool to be part of the Grayslake, Haynesville community. John and I know a lot of friends and families in the area, so it's cool to see all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned the hard part about these losses is mainly the bigger ones, but I mean, any loss can affect a person differently, right? And I can't tell you, I'll walk into like a major catastrophe, and people can be cool as a cucumber, and walk into a small loss, and people are pretty upset about it, which, whatever, I mean.
Understandably so.
100%.
Yeah.
And you don't know what kind of situation they're in their personal life and all that kind of stuff. So, again, that's a big part of how we try to react to these things and be empathetic, like Hunter said, and try to understand what people are going through.
Yeah. We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
That's tough. And if anybody doesn't know where you guys are located, basically 120 going out of town towards the west, right?
Yep.
Where 134 and 120 kind of split off.
Yep.
That
Between
fork in the
Haynesville
road.
Road and 134. Yep.
Right. Very close to Dunkin' Donuts.
Across
Right
the street.
across.
It's really nice.
It is.
Right. And really close to, I was not paid to say this, Old Time Antiques.
Right next door.
Right. You can come see you
Shout
guys.
out Christine.
And come shopping for antiques.
Yes. Come say
If
hi
you're
to
looking
us.
for an apartment to rent, since we're on the subject there.
I hear there's a vacant one above the store.
Wow, really? I didn't know that. Do you have any idea of the square footage? Okay, so the spot that you guys got in, why did you decide to come to Grayslake? Like, how do you end up at that? Because there's not a ton of spaces that big, right? Because that's a pretty large facility.
Yeah. We were outgrowing Mundelein. We needed more storage space. The business itself was growing. And we learned it real quick in our new building in Wakanda. Like, we have to store a lot of furniture, equipment, trucks, whatnot. So it was the right place at the right time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's
good.
been great since then. So
Yeah, and I'm sure as you guys grow, if you're growing more, that it seems like the warehouse space is really the stuff you need, right?
correct.
Like to put stuff when that happens. You said something that I didn't understand completely. So we say with other like big major catastrophes. So we've talked about fire, we've talked about water. Like, what other things do you guys do?
Yeah.
What do people call you for?
Like I said earlier, there's not a lot we don't do anymore. But we handle mold remediation. A lot of people are finding mold, not just in their attics, but I mean, a lot of houses. It's hard to find a house that doesn't have mold to some degree.
Yep.
So we handle all that. We handle biohazard cleanup, unfortunately, in those, sad circumstances, obviously.
Tell me what you're talking about.
In the case of
Car accidents.
Or, God
Animals.
forbid, animals, rodents, just nasty damage. We come in, we clean it up, and we, really take a gander at what the source of the loss is. So, we try to make sure it's not going to happen again. But yeah, we dabble in a lot of buckets.
Wow.
Hoarding.
Yep.
A lot of hoarding situations.
Hoarding.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody passes away too, and you have to get the house cleaned up.
Yeah. And like Tom said, we have all this space now to house contents, to clean contents. So if you're displaced from your home, God forbid there's a major fire, or in case of hoarding situations, everybody's got to come out. You have to, take everything out, and we have the space and the capacity to do that, which is awesome.
I'm trying to think about how many stories you guys must have.
A lot.
You said the first flood, the first fire, like the first family of raccoons dead upstairs, the first hoarder.
Yeah, I mean, you made me think about it. Like, it's crazy. She mentioned biohazard. Like, again, this is a long time ago, so the industry's changed significantly, right, as people change.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one time we had a deer through a walkout basement patio door, glass door, went through the door and bled all over the basement. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that is,
Wow.
Yeah.
What a strange phone call to
Right.
receive.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, and if that happens, who do you call? Animal control?
Yep.
Right. Right.
So,
now, who do you call?
Yeah, us.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's super strange.
We got some crazy stories. Yeah, I mean, like, we had one guy accidentally start his house on fire. He had wood siding, cedar shake, cedar, and there was a cobweb in the soffit, and he was smoking a cigarette on the porch and lit the cobweb on fire.
No way.
And 25 minutes later,
the house is up.
The house is on fire.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So don't do that, guys.
No. Supplemental.
I'm not even taking out of this what to do with my life. I'm doing what not to do. Wow.
Supplemental heat, a lot. Ovens, people leaving, space heaters, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of, unfortunately, whether it be medical emergency or stupidity, a lot of cars running into buildings.
Yep.
A lot of that going on recently.
Right. You guys also helped with the new drive-through at Charlie's, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
New drive-through.
I'm not even sure that, I don't even think that was real that you guys actually fixed it. I just thought you just put a McMahon sign up.
Yep.
Right. Could we put a billboard here?
All about visibility, right?
The right place at the right time.
Exactly.
We're still negotiating with the insurance carrier.
Right. Okay, the great thing about that, and there's the great thing and how fast you guys were there. Like, me and a buddy were out there like shortly after that happened, and you guys were there like
Yep.
Lickety
in
split.
no time.
That's our, I think that's our biggest differentiator, I like to say. We mean it when we say it. If you're local, we're going to be there. That's a benefit that we have. John and I have as owners. A lot of delegation. Now we have departments and layers of management and people. So when the phone rings, we have 5 or 6 people that can respond. At the very least, I will be there to see it. John will be there to see it. Technicians, estimators, maybe even Hunter.
Yep.
We'll get there and we'll get things situated. We have a pretty high success rate, capture ratio on water and whatnot, that we do get there within the first hour and start getting things cleaned up.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
All right, so another question that comes to my head as a consumer. This happens, right? Basement flooded, house is on fire, anything. Do I call my insurance company to find out, do I call you guys directly? How does that process work?
Yeah, so we like you to call us first,
Okay.
because we can assess the damage and make sure it's claim worthy. Nowadays, corporate America, people are getting dropped left and right for filing claims that shouldn't be filed. The other thing is we like to be real clear, give a ballpark estimate of what we think it's going to cost, right? Make sure they have the appropriate coverage. A lot of people don't have, listen up people, the right endorsement for a basement of backup and sewer and drain or sump pump. I mean, that happens a lot where we walk into a basement and people don't have that coverage. And it happens a lot in Lake County, so people need that specific endorsement. But yeah, we like to give them a ballpark and then make sure we pride ourselves on not eating up people's coverages. We're very fair on the cleanup side of things and the repair side of things, but with specific carriers, there's only $5,000 or $10,000 in coverage, and that can get eaten up pretty quick, if you're remodeling an entire basement or whatnot.
Right.
Wow.
So that's why we essentially like to be there first, because we can assess the damage.
Right.
And let you know what you're up against.
Right. And at least people have a logical place to go from there too, right?
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Or what do you do? How screwed are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you have great coverage. This
Yep.
is great. Let's get this
We'll
taken
take
care of
it.
now.
Yes.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. I mean, especially with water, but really for any disaster, it's so important to act quickly. I mean, that's the biggest thing. A lot of people wait, and sometimes it'll get worse, or sometimes things start to grow, and all of a sudden your insurance is not on your side anymore. And, it can be an uphill battle. But, yeah, like Tom said, we like to be out there quickly, assess everything, and let you know, where we're going from here.
Right. I'm stubborn like that too. So if my sump pump goes out, I can do this. There's only 2 inches of water, right? I can get this stuff out of here fast. I can clean out the crawl space. I can clean up the room.
It happens a lot. People don't realize how quickly it spreads. And we get a lot of calls where just the carpet got wet. And we're like, well, if it's been wet for 3 or 4 days, the walls got wet too. People just don't realize it, which is fair.
Right.
And then sure enough, we go in there, remove the carpeting, whatnot, and then you pull off the baseboard and you'll have mold behind the baseboard. So do-it-yourselfers, they're out there for sure. But I mean, we always like to go look and assess.
Yeah.
Well, and we have the technology and the equipment to back everything up. I mean, there's a lot of things you can't see with the naked eye, moisture being one of them. We're coming out there with, moisture meters and being able to tell you what the humidity levels are. And listen, like Tom said, there's probably mold underneath this carpet if it's been sitting for 3 or 4 days. This is something to really take into consideration. And, like I said, with the equipment, I mean, we have 2 warehouses now that are fully stocked. We're, locked and loaded to dry everything out and clean everything up on the spot. So
wow. I was just thinking about all the continuing education, like when you hire people, like you guys had to learn everything from the ground up, right? Like, holy cow, now we're starting fire stuff. What do we need to be certified in? What classes do we need to take, right? There's a lot of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so IICRC is a big one. And that's probably, I mean, it's been around for a while now, but I'm saying, like, to your point, when we were kids, there was no such thing as the IICRC. It's Institute of Cleaning, Restoration, and whatever, inspection.
It's a big one.
IICRC. And they have certifications for, I mean, everything we're talking about. Trauma, mold, fire, water, commercial drying, commercial fire cleaning, all that kind of stuff. So our team is certified it. We take a lot of pride in it. The firm is certified. We even take it as far as, like, someone like Hunter. She's a lot in biz development, and she works as a project coordinator. She's not out in the field cleaning this stuff up, right? But, like, when she answers the phone, we like to get people like that certified as well. Right? So when someone calls, she can answer questions. And
right.
So.
Yes, because I'm sure that first phone call, whatever impression that you give them or whatever information you give them is hugely important, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we try to do a lot of other trainings.
Yeah.
Hunter hosts a lot of CEs with Bob and Dan for
What's a CE?
agents.
CE is continuing education. So we have, in our facility, we have this wonderful conference room, and we're trying to utilize it a lot more, but we host 3 CE classes per year. So that's for our insurance agents. They're required by the state to have a certain amount of hours over, I think it's 24 months or so. But so we host those classes free to them. We have a great breakfast and lunch. That's our main selling point. But no, it's a great day of just networking, fun. We hosted a Canva class, actually, in our facility recently, so we had a great turnout for that.
Did you do that, Hunter?
I absolutely partook.
All right, good.
Got to gain all the knowledge I can. But no, like Tom said, I mean, a lot of technical training, but a lot of just internal training too. We have a leadership program going on right now, so we're just always trying to better ourselves in any way that we can for all of our staff. So a great company means, we're putting out goodness in the world.
Yeah, never standing still, right?
That's right.
We're always learning.
Yep.
We're trying, always learning. So if it's not one thing, I always tell, like when I mingle around the office and talk to everybody, I always say, like, I don't necessarily need specifics about our industry in training. Like, I want personal growth, personal training. Like, what do you want to do? Hey, I wish I could, take a class on this. Okay, let's take a class on that. Right. Ask around and see if other people want it. So, yeah, it's fun. I mean, if we're helping each other, obviously, naturally, that helps the business, right? So
right.
Absolutely.
Helps the community then.
It sounds like a good place to work.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'll say so. Yes.
Well, it's nice when you can communicate with your employees and find out what they need and be there to listen, right? Well, if you're asking somebody, what do you want to do, right?
Yeah.
How many places do work ask you that?
It's funny that sometimes we even push it. I'm like, well, I can only ask you so many times, right? Like,
sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, I take it personal that I like people to grow professionally and personally. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is Bob Churchill. I know you are always there for your family, caring for your children, your spouse, and even your parents. But in critical times, will you be able to make decisions that assure the best result for your family? A power of attorney may be necessary if, on behalf of a loved one, you need to talk to a doctor, a bank, or the college infirmary. A power of attorney may sound daunting, but the lawyers at Churchill, Quinn, Hamilton, and Van Doncelar can easily create this document for you. We are right here in Grayslake, supporting the community for over 122 years. Reach out to us at grayslakelaw.com or call us at 847-223-1500. Whether you need a power of attorney, a will, or legal help with your business, we'll take care of you so you can care for others. Go to grayslakelaw.com today for more information. Have a wonderful day, and now back to the program.
Hunter, tell me some of because I know that you guys are involved in a lot of things, but just so we're clear, because obviously this is a community podcast to let things know. Tell me about associations that you guys are in.
Sure.
Obviously the chamber.
Yes, a lot of chambers. We are actually, we're a part of the Chain of Lakes Chamber, the McHenry Chamber, the Crystal Lake Chamber, GLMV, Lake Forest, Lake Bluff. We're part of the Grayslake Exchange Club, countless networking groups. We're going to networking events, and we're part of the Heartland Realtor organization. So we are all over the place. We have, I believe it's 52 events this year, either we're sponsoring or participating in. So break that down, that's one a week. Amazing. Wow. But yeah, I mean, we are in countless parades. We did the St. Patrick's Parade this year.
That was fun for our first shot through there. It was kind of fun.
Right.
I got to watch and drink green beer instead, which
absolutely.
I liked my spot in the parade.
Well, St. Patty's Day is near and dear to our hearts.
Yep.
McMahon.
Obviously.
Very Irish.
Right. What did you guys do in the parade? Did you have one of your big trucks there? What did you guys have?
I unfortunately was not there. I was in Europe, actually, in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. Not to brag.
This is not a bragging show.
Not at all. Not at all.
Making us feel bad.
But we did have, I believe, one of our box trucks.
And a float.
So, yeah, Drew, our marketing manager, he's always making sure we're involved in just about everything we can get our hands on, which is awesome. So we love being a part of the community. We really thrive here. So
yeah, I love it, and it's being part of the community is huge, right?
Yeah.
Not only for advertising, but people feel comfortable to call you. People like when you're in these
100%,
things, and you're at 700 networking things.
Exactly.
So did they hire you, Hunter, just to go to networking events?
I'm starting to think so. It's a full-time job, just talking to people.
But it is fun, though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you get to be in touch with people.
Exactly, and you meet not only leaders in the community, but I mean great people, families. So it's a wonderful thing.
It's definitely cool in Grayslake. What was it, Memorial Day or 4th of July parade last year, and then St. Patty's Day this year?
I think the 4th of July.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
It was just cool walking up and down the street behind the float, and like how many people recognize you. Unfortunately, we probably worked on their house.
Right.
So it was cool response we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like being a part of that. Yeah.
Those are my favorite things because you want to talk about like community when you actually sit there and like. I was doing a drone video for it, and to watch and see like everybody's out there, right? They all gather to come, and then the staples in our community like walk down the road to be.
Yep.
And it's fun, but it also is like shows support for everything.
Oh yeah.
It's a long parade too.
It's cool for the company because people like, I mean, obviously Hunter's going, Drew's going,
right?
But we probably have 8 to 10 employees, and then
oh my God, how far can you walk without somebody yelling, saying hi, whether it's the kids or
You're
or whatever, right?
But I have 2 little kids, and not little, but kids, and 12 and 11, and they love it.
Yeah.
My son's launching candy.
Yeah. And just to get the office staff too, I mean, I fortunately have had the experience of getting to talk to people every day, but the ones that, work in the office, it's fun on the weekends and just getting out and being still part of the community, but, being with the McMahon family. So it's all good stuff. We really enjoy it.
What'd you do this weekend?
For this weekend, we actually participated in the Grayslake community cleanup, which was great. No.
Did you have to wear that?
And they didn't trust me with the trash stabber either.
So you did a cleanup? You had to walk around and do like a road or something?
Yep, like that? Out in Crystal Lake. We were out actually in Veterans Acres Park and just picking up trash. I almost fell in the lake a couple times because I was reaching for a Gatorade bottle or two. But just stuff like that. It makes you feel good, So
I was going to say it does sound fun to work there right up until that point.
Yes. Right. Yeah. That was voluntary, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, exactly.
Well, you're a better woman than I.
Earth Day was recently. I felt like I was a little obligated, but
right.
It's still voluntary.
That's good. And giving back to the community. I mean,
exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
100%.
And it seems like the things you're doing from the networking and getting to know people and doing the parades and having people know who you are. Also, you set that because you get to deal with people during a tragedy.
Yeah.
Help them out and get back on their feet. It must be really satisfying to look and see what you did to see when the project's done, right?
It is rewarding, especially for those families that, like I said, have complete losses and they're out of their homes for, sometimes 2 months. I mean, just to be able to walk back into your house, I would imagine is one of the most relieving feelings. So to be, play even a small part in that is huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, for me, it's funny because, I'm in the office a lot now.
Uh-huh.
But then I also, go out and randomly check on jobs.
Sure.
Surprise people.
I'm sure they love that.
Yeah, especially my employees.
Right. Oh, they love it. Oh, look who's here.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I definitely take a particular interest in the larger catastrophes, and it's always cool and rewarding to see the progress of the project, the beginning result, the end result. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? Naturally, the house, commercial property usually ends up nicer than it was prior because,
right.
I mean,
it's new.
Yeah, it's new. Something was damaged, right? So, like I said, the hard part's the start of the job because people weren't expecting it. I always say when you get into a really big project, you plan for a big project, right?
Right.
If you were doing a major remodel on your house, you're planning it.
Right.
When we show up, you weren't planning on it. So, picking out everything you want and is the hard part.
Yeah.
But then seeing that progress, it's funny that I have to keep reminding the customer, hey, I promise you by the end of this.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I think about even when you think about local things that have happened, I even hate to even mention it, but our friends at Dog and Suds.
Yeah.
And when you have an older home or an older commercial building, there's so much more that needs to be done, right?
Yep.
I mean, from upgrading electricity to water to all of these things that things people don't think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, I mean, when we can look back and go, oh man, that really sucked, whatever. But hopefully things are better.
Yep.
Right.
And hopefully 95% of the time that's usually the case. That everything ends up better. But that's a good point you bring up too. Is just code upgraded and all that kind of stuff.
I would have never thought of that in a million years, right?
Yeah. I mean,
codes that aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah. The easiest way to explain code, right, is if you have a house built in the 50s, I mean, electrical code, insulation, plumbing code has all changed. Mm-hmm. So your insurance policy typically, most of the time, has an endorsement for code upgrade insurance.
Is that something you have to choose? Or is that on there?
It's typically dwelling, but different policies, commercial and rental, might not have it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But typically your homeowners dwelling coverage, yes. And that's another big thing is a lot of people are underinsured now since COVID. Mm-hmm. And obviously, inflation and all that. So I always encourage people to check their policies and make sure, do some kind of homework on how much it should cost to build a house, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's funny that we're having this conversation. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she feels like she's overinsured, just because her carrier, I don't know what kind of math problem algorithm they had, but they raised her coverage, and she's paying more for it. But I said to her, I'm like, no, I think that's pretty accurate,
reasonable.
So.
Yeah, it's hard, especially with home values.
Yep.
Everything. You're talking about the code stuff, which is funny. So if I have a problem at my house, if somebody had a small fire or something like that, and your electric wasn't up to code, and they have to come in and fix the electric in the basement, I'm sure they can't leave it alone. They have to fix all of the electric.
Right.
So depending on the significance of the loss and what's exposed in the house, I mean, for example, if your electrical panel, yes. The room that was affected, yes, if it was that small of a loss. But the other rooms, maybe not.
Okay.
But definitely the panel went out, or they might rewire it. Obviously, if it's a real issue, then they would for sure cover it. So insulation's always big, right? I mean, insulation in your attic. Right. When we were kids, there was 4 inches of insulation. Now there's 20 inches required. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay, so we were talking about things that that could help people, right? Mm-hmm. Take a look at your policy. Talk to people, find out what's going on with that. Things that people shouldn't do. You talk about I'm sure that there's we talk about space heaters, things like that.
You read my mind.
Yeah, give people something valuable that could really help them. Some tips what not to do.
Yeah, there's a couple. Well, it's always funny, and no offense because you made this comment.
Yeah.
If you're going to replace your sump pump or do any plumbing, have a plumber do it, right?
Right.
Just because I always tell people your deductible is at least $1,000. Nowadays they're $2,500, $5,000. The plumber is cheaper than your deductible. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of people that turn off their heat or turn their heat way down in the winter when they go to Arizona or Florida for a couple months.
Okay.
Again,
womp womp.
It's cheaper to keep your heat running than it is to pay your deductible.
So things freeze.
Yeah,
pipes burst.
Yeah, pipes burst.
Yep.
Yeah. Always know where your water shutoffs are.
I learned that the hard way.
Yep. Sprinkler systems, know where those shutoffs are, because there's a lot of building codes now, local communities where their sprinkler systems are required even in residential.
Okay.
We get a lot of quote-unquote frozen pipes in August because that's how they code it for the endorsement.
Okay.
Because people haven't turned their hose on since the freeze. And so my point is always make sure you shut off your hose bib and you detach your hose over the winter. Okay. Get a lot of frozen spigots.
Really? Okay, so that's why they tell you to do that. So it doesn't break, and then when you turn it on in the summertime.
And you don't know, and you're out watering your grass and your basement's flooding while you're watering your grass.
God, you're going to give me nightmares. I'm going to be checking everything. Like,
these are stuff we see.
That time of year, though, right?
Yeah.
That's going to start happening.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't tell you just plumbing failures, people doing stuff themselves.
Right.
I always tell, my rule of thumb is, and that's us too, right, as a company, we subcontract a lot. We have subcontractors that can say they can do this, and this, and like, no, I use the guys that have the license for doing what we need them to do. So, that's big.
And that's huge for us too. I mean, just as a general contractor, having access to all those trades, even if you don't have a flood, but you need a referral for somebody, asphalt, plumbers, concrete, whatever the case may be, electricians. I mean, people are always looking for stuff. We have access to all of that too, which is awesome.
I wouldn't even think that. But
yeah.
So I can call you in.
We know everybody.
I'm going to say,
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I wouldn't do that. I love the, I absolutely love the ways to help people, right?
Yeah.
If there's one thing we get to do on the show is like tell people, like, God forbid they'll ever need you, but if they'll have, but to do like
we always
smart
say,
stuff, right?
Yeah, we hope you never have to call us, but it's great to know somebody when you need them.
I think I'm going to call a plumber to come check and see if I put my sump pump in right
correctly.
Yeah.
The other thing is like, I mean, if your sump pump is on a lot, working a lot, right? Mm-hmm. You should probably replace it every 3 to 4 years.
Is that what it? 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, just because they'll burn out, right? I mean, a lot of times we get a loss. What happened? My sump pump burned out. So.
What do you think about the backups for those? Or the backup battery things? Should I have that?
It helps if you're in town. If you're out of town, the battery goes dead pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely a good investment. It's another whatever. There's a lot of technology coming out right now, meaning just moisture sensors and whatnot. Hook it up to your smartphone and let you know that there's water around the sump pump, whatnot. So we're seeing a lot of that stuff.
Wow. No, that's got to be cool.
Yeah.
It's valuable to homeowners, right? Probably
100%.
cost something in the beginning, but
not
the big bills that you have to pay for that.
Yep.
Right. It's all about preventive measures.
Yep.
So.
Right. What am I forgetting about? Because obviously you guys do a ton of things that I wouldn't think of. Like, you talk about, I have a vision of the deer going through the
back door.
The back door, and tons of stories of things like that, I'm sure. Just want to make sure that when things happen, like who they call, how they do things, the other things that I might be forgetting too. A lot of things are so obvious, but not to me.
Yeah.
But to make sure that you guys get to cover what you need to talk about too.
Yeah, no, for us the biggest thing is I like people to know that we will respond immediately. Review your policies, know your policies. Like I said, those few examples of emergencies, what to do in the event you have an emergency. We have emergency response plans for commercial clients.
Okay.
And like we talked about, like, what do you do in the event that you have a catastrophe? What do you do as a business owner in the event you have a catastrophe? Like, you should have a plan in place. If we talk about it all the time in our business. What would we do if we had a fire? Sure. I have actually a good friend in Detroit that I network with. He had a very successful carpet cleaning business, 10,000 square foot building that started on fire, and he had 6 of his trucks in there. Well, I mean, that almost put him out of business.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Because he couldn't get his trucks in time to keep his business rolling. So my point is always, what are you going to do in the event that you have that catastrophe?
Wow.
It's one thing if you have a flood in your basement. I mean, you can manage that, but
right,
your whole house, your business,
everything, right?
Yeah.
What do you need to live day by day, and how are you going to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
When that stuff's gone.
Yeah.
But people don't think about that. Like I do I neglect a lot of stuff that I don't think about, right? Because I don't know, like you said, what's in your house, what's in your business, right? Yep. But to walk around and do a video and have that.
Yeah. And talk to your agent, broker, what coverages you need. Like,
hey, Lake County, I know you know a teacher out there that needs to be recognized. I'm Jody Sigmars, former educator, now realtor, and I'm here representing Educators Advantage. We want you to nominate a Teacher of the Month. Click the link in the show notes and nominate your favorite teacher. Make your favorite teacher feel appreciated and give them a shout out.
We used to talk about backup sewer and drain. We see a lot of additional structures. An additional structure is a detached deck around a pool, a shed, a detached garage, all that kind of stuff. And again, since inflation, COVID, all that kind of stuff, those coverages are pretty low. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we show up to a job and, hey, this could be $30,000. Well, I only have $12,000 in coverage. So.
Gotcha. And the other things I was just thinking about too, like a home improvement. You put on, like you get all new appliances in your kitchen or anything that raises the value, right?
Yep.
To make sure that you're
covered.
Your assets
yes.
with your thing. So having a talk with your insurance agent.
100%.
And maybe asking the same question that I just asked you guys. Like, what am I forgetting?
Right.
Like maybe it's obvious to you, but what do I need?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need.
It's those conversations with your agent are really important.
Nice.
I mean, if you think about it, like I would say 90% of our referrals are claim-based, insurance claim-based. Mm-hmm. Now, the revenue of the business, obviously, if I come to your house, you're like, hey, you're doing this, this, and this. Can you give me a quote on this, this, and this? Like out-of-pocket stuff.
Right.
So we do a lot of quote-unquote remodeling. But most of our referrals are claim-based. And we always tell one of the big questions I ask when I meet people is like, hey, what's your coverage? Dollars, and do you have this specific endorsement? And I hate seeing people upset. Hey, I got to pay out of pocket. I got to do this. It's one thing if you want to paint your whole house when we're only painting one room, but it's another thing if
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. The extras. Yes. You have to dig in your own pocket for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure with stuff like that too, and I can imagine in my home, like if you had to fix like 2 of the rooms, they'd be perfect, and the others.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, here's 2025, and here's 1988, whatever. Right? So you want it to
happens.
Keep going.
I'm not joking. At least quoting something on most of our jobs now.
Yeah.
More than not.
Hey, while you're here.
Yes.
Right. Well, and they have something bad happen. Yeah. Now it looks nice.
Exactly.
And now you're like, well, maybe it's time for other improvements.
Yeah.
We have really good crews where the people love them, so they're like, oh, can you do this, this, and this? Yeah.
Right. So you are general contractors.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if somebody's listening right now that needs a home improvement or something done like that,
oh, absolutely.
You guys also do that.
You don't have to have a flood in your basement. I mean, we can still remodel your bathroom if you'd like.
So that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So if I want to remodel my bathroom, I can call you guys.
100%. And I think one of the big things, too, that differentiates us is that we handle everything from start to finish. So we're going to see that project through. On day one, when you're at your worst, we're walking into 4 inches of water or, a fire, we're going to see it through all the way to the certificate of completion, meaning everything has been done and you're back in your home. So you're dealing with one company. Most of the time it's just one single point of contact, which makes even more streamlined. We really make it as easy as possible because it is such a stressful situation and we want to make sure it's, not as painful. Right. So.
And completed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nowadays, one other thing it's gotten a little bit tougher for us. It's just working with the carriers, the insurance companies. Negotiating the claims, all that's changed in the last 3 or 4 years.
You mean they don't always want to pay? That's a weird thing for insurance companies.
Crazy.
Yes. I thought they just cover everything.
Yeah. So they got beat up, quote unquote, got beat up.
Yeah.
The last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
In claims only, they were spending more money than they were bringing in.
Really?
Claims only, but they're banks and investments.
Right.
You see a lot of names on stadiums. They're doing that for a reason.
Yeah, I was just starting to feel bad for them.
Yeah, right. But we also...
Them and the health insurance guy I feel horrible for, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
But we've also established, not only great relationships with the agents in our area, but adjusters too. So again, keeping the process streamlined. We... Not bribery isn't the right word, but we schmooze a little bit and we have great relationships with these people because of our reputation in this industry. So...
We've earned the trust, I would say.
Exactly. Yep. That's a perfect way to put it.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Which is awesome. And being part of the community is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I want to know, what's a call that you call, because you seem like the yes people. I make a phone call to you. I want to tell me one thing that you tell me no on. Can you do my roof?
We will do your roof if it's storm damage, right? So
Okay.
you kind of asked me earlier about GC, how many employees, trucks.
Yes, sir.
I think we have about 25 trucks. And so when it gets into some retail, our price can be a little bit more expensive because I have a lot more overhead.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to roofing and siding and whatnot, obviously your roofer down the street that has a 4-man crew is cheaper than me as a general contractor. But I mean, if you have significant hail damage or roof penetrations, or, we do a lot of roofing, put it that way.
Right.
But it's hard nowadays where we get a small windstorm and get 40, 50 phone calls for wind damage when there's not really damage. So.
Right. Yeah, and you got guys, there's enough guys knocking on doors.
Yes.
these days out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Craziness.
somebody's neighbor is getting a new roof, and now
Sure.
I want one,
Yeah.
but there's no hail damage or a tree didn't fall through,
Yeah.
and so it can be tricky.
But
for
yes,
sure.
Sure.
at the very least, we'll assess things.
Mm-hmm.
But
And if you don't know, then you can
Yeah.
find somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly.
You're a good call to make
Yeah.
whatever they need.
Right.
done.
I would say we definitely do the remodeling, what we've been talking about, but we specialize in the restoration part of it.
Yes.
Right.
So it's a big part of the business.
Yeah.
For us, again, is like I will do a fire that burned to the ground. Unfortunately, if a house burned to the ground, but like we specialize in the minimal structure damage, cleaning, painting,
Gotcha.
all
Right.
that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Plans for McMahon?
Continued growth, continued support in the community. Yeah, it's been fun. We've definitely grown significantly. We keep adding employees, management at a controlled level, which has been fun. We're not trying to get too big too soon. But the big part of that is like I want to keep the family dynamic
Yes.
with that growth, and keep the players, employees that we have. That
It's huge, and I know a lot of the people that you employ, and it's awesome because
Yeah.
they're people that we all know. They're all people from, whether they're my friends' children,
Yeah.
Hunter, or like even like Joey,
Yeah.
like Tashinsky, right?
Yep.
Tashinsky brothers.
Yeah, so they're
Brothers, plural.
Right.
Yes.
I
Oh my
think
gosh, yeah,
only
brothers, yes.
one Tashinsky brother has not worked for McMahon, which is
Really?
just a cute little fun fact.
Exactly.
I got some funny stories for them that probably aren't safe for the.
That's fine. We'll talk about it.
We'll keep it off the
I'll send it to
internet.
Mom and Dad after when we're done.
Oh, they know them.
Yeah, they know. That's bad. If they know them, that's really bad.
They showed up at the Christmas party at the Vine.
They sure did.
Yes.
Yes.
I was accidentally in the middle of one of your Christmas parties once, sitting on the corner of the bar when you guys were in the side room. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
Well,
wrong
last
with
year
that.
you guys took over the whole back. I
Yeah.
think. You had it all in the back.
That's a
Yeah.
great establishment.
And-
Yep.
Yeah.
He does a great job there.
We love the Vine.
Tip my hat to Pruitt. He's always
Yeah.
he's a great one in the community for
Yeah.
sure.
He's helped us out significantly too. So
Nice.
yeah, he's definitely outspoken, and we appreciate what he does for us. So, yeah.
Mike.
Mike, yep,
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go to the Vine.
right now.
Yeah. Exactly. I think we should probably do that after this. Anything else we want to mention before we close out? Anything I'm forgetting?
Well, we're always open 24/7.
Yeah, that's
a big thing. Someone will always answer the phone too. It's not automated. We always have somebody on call, which I think is huge. We're multilingual. We're compatible with everybody. We have the resources. We also service not only Northwest Illinois, but Southern Wisconsin as well. So for you Grayslake listeners, if you have lake houses or parents that live in Wisconsin, we can help there as well. But yeah, we just want people in the community to, like I said, know about us before they have to find us.
Right. Tell me the socials people can follow at.
You can follow us on Facebook. It's just McMahon Services. We're also pretty deep in Instagram. Yep. Drew keeps us active on there.
TikTok now, I think?
We delve into TikTok a little bit.
I want to see the TikTok.
I'm trying to make us go viral, but we'll have to get Tom involved on some of that.
Okay. Well, that's probably why it hasn't gone viral.
Exactly, right.
Some steps away for a while.
That's
right.
Well,
he's in the office now.
Yep.
I mean, so maybe...
We'll just have to sneak up on him. Yeah, exactly.
Just scaring Tom.
Yeah.
Yep. Like Monday morning.
Segment.
We'll see how many people still have their jobs after
right.
that. Too, right? Well,
perfect.
I appreciate both of you for being here and taking the time.
Cool. We appreciate you having us.
Yes.
It was fun.
Thank you. And it's always fun. It's fun to get to... I always say that my job is continuing education, that I get to learn all kinds of things. So now I got to call somebody about my sump pump and write down numbers.
Just cost you some money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very little. Hey, Grayslake, wherever you guys are listening, do me a favor, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, whatever platform you listen on, hit the subscribe button, because that way every Tuesday you'll be alerted of a new guest from our town that will be on, and hopefully you guys find this very valuable and learn new things. And I always say make sure to be a patron of the people that we talk to, because they're working hard and getting out there for you. And as I always end, we never know what our friends, family, or even strangers on the street are going through. So get out there and do 1-2 different random acts of kindness today. It's funny, like even shooting somebody a smile, open the door for somebody, be nice to the cashier somewhere that might be having a really rough day, or buy the person in front of you a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. Kindness spreads like wildfire, and God knows this in this world we live in right now, we need more of that. So that's my challenge to you. All right, McMahon Services, thank you guys very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Dave.
Thank you guys
Dave.
very much. And Grayslake, we'll see you next Tuesday.